Today we're going to dive into the movie Krishna and Kans, a cinematic masterpiece, which covers the cheerful, adventurous, and inspiring life of Lord Krishna, and his battle with the Asura reborn in the body of a man known as Kans. So let's begin. Firstly, let's introduce the tyrant ruler of the Vrishni kingdom, Kans. Kans was the son of the great king Ugrasen and Queen Padmavati. Ugrasen was the king of Yadav dynasty and held position of authority and respect. He was a kind and powerful ruler, while on the other hand, his son Kans was just as harsh and violent ruler. He dethroned his father and became the king of Mathura, and began his reign of torment and pain. While he was very harsh and selfish, he loved his cousin's sister, Devaki, more than anything, and took care of her every desire. Devaki was the daughter of King Devaka, Queen Padmavati's brother. It is said that her beauty shone like 1,000 suns, radiant and pure, a reflection of divinity itself. Princess Devaki was going to marry a noble Yadav prince named Vasudev. Vasudev was a prince known for his wisdom, devotion, kind heart, and righteous nature. On the day of their marriage, whole of Mathura was dressed as a bride. However, destiny had something else planned. As Vasudeva and Devaki was leaving for their home, the unimagined happened. The sky split apart, and the voice of the heavens came down to pass a message to mere mortals. This was a message for the unworthy ruler Kans, warning him that the eighth son of Devaki and Vasudeva will be the reason of his death. This message made Kans feel something he had never felt before, a feeling that had never existed for him: fear. His fear broke his pride into pieces, and to overcome his fear, he found only one solution: killing his sister. However, he was stopped by her husband, Vasudev. As Vasudev was about to wield his sword, he saw a glimpse of true love in Devaki's eyes for her brother, the same brother who was ready to kill her. This made his heart melt, and he made a promise to Kans. According to this promise, they would stay in prison, and every child of Devaki and Vasudeva would be given to Kans immediately after birth. After their eighth child, Kans would release them. Knowing Vasudev's righteous personality, Kans agreed. One day, after dethroning his father and beginning his reign of constant suffering and pain, Kans was sitting in his assembly when Rishi Narada arrived, attempting to talk some sense into him. Narada tried to convey that fighting against the one who had granted them strength, intelligence, and the gift of life was meaningless. However, Kans, lost in his pride, insulted him by declaring that he would conquer the heavens, and then everyone would have to worship him instead of Vishnu. Amid their discussion, Vasudev entered the assembly with his firstborn child, offering the child to Kans. Initially, Kans decided to leave the child unharmed, thinking that the child posed no threat. However, after some time, fear crept into his mind, and he resolved to kill every child born to Devaki until the eighth one met his demise. He continued to kill every child, and with the death of every infant, he came closer to his own. During his rule, the people faced unimaginable pain, enduring starvation, robbery, drought, and forced taxes. Many learned to adapt to these conditions. Some left the kingdom, and those who opposed were silenced. Then one day, when Mother Nature was at its wildest, Kans's fear, the savior of the world, Lord Vishnu, was born in human form as the eighth son of Devaki and Vasudeva. He appeared as a wonder come to life. A myth made real arose amidst thorns. He was Krishna. He instructed them to take him to the small town across the Yamuna River named Gokul and exchange him with the newborn daughter of Yashoda. He also told them to bring the daughter back with him. As Vasudeva pondered how to fulfill his duty, a lightning bolt came through the window as if sent for a purpose. It struck the lock and broke it. As the lock broke, all the guards fainted to the ground, clearing a way for Vasudeva to fulfill his duty. And so Vasudeva embarked on his journey as a father and a devotee. He reached the Yamuna River and started to cross it. Just as he was crossing, the water level began to rise. The Yamuna is a river capable of sweeping away trees, forests, and entire villages with one surge. It seemed like it would submerge both the man and the child. However, surprisingly, the river only desired a blessing from the infant, from the Lord. After receiving the blessing, the immense river, whose flows could not even be controlled by modern technology, split apart and provided a path for Vasudeva. Amidst all this, Sheshanag himself, who would later take human form as Krishna's elder brother, appeared to shield the child from the rain. Following the instructions, Vasudeva fulfilled his duty and returned to the jail. When Kansa arrived and attempted to kill the daughter, a certain energy emerged. She was goddess Durga. She informed Kansa that killing her would be futile, as his death had already been foretold and was in safe hands. This escalation of events intensified Kansa's anger more than his fear, leading him to summon his demons for help, one by one. He called upon Putna for help, who was a demon, and asked her to kill all the kids born today in hopes that she would also kill Krishna. Meanwhile, in Gokul, everyone was rejoicing at the birth of the village chief's son. A single glance at him was enough for everyone to fall in love. It was as if the moon itself had descended to earth, not just a mere fragment of it. Putna roamed around, killing every infant. When she found little Krishna playing, a single look was enough for her to realize he was no ordinary child. He embodied divine power, capable of destroying the entire world effortlessly. To end the life of this remarkable child, she took the form of a beautiful lady and introduced herself as a heavenly woman. She claimed that if she breastfed little Krishna, he would become immortal and impervious to harm. However, the truth was different. Her breast was filled with poison, and her intent was to kill Krishna. As she began breastfeeding him, an unimaginable pain overwhelmed her, as if something was piercing her heart. This was nothing other than the power of Krishna, leading to her demise at the hands of the innocent kid. On the other hand, the chief of Barsana discovered an infant girl in a lotus on the Yamuna River. The little girl appeared like a manifested fantasy, an actualized fairy tale, a living embodiment of beauty that words alone couldn't describe. With no children of his own, the chief believed this to be a gift from the heavens and adopted the girl as his daughter. After Putna, Khan sent many demons, each more powerful than the last, yet none posed a threat to little Krishna. Krishna's life was more than just these battles. He played with his friends, stole makhan, and played his bansuri. On one occasion he ate some sand, and when his mother looked in his mouth, she saw the entire universe within. If he offered a handful of grains to anyone, that would instantly turn into gold. He teased the gopis of the town, and wherever he went, a sense of delight followed him. Despite being the size of a child, he held the power to destroy demons. If you were to ask me, I would envy the streets of Gokul for bearing witness to his childhood. Once he broke the pots of a gopi and devoured all the makhan within. When the gopi came to complain, they couldn't even finish their sentences. They were mesmerized by his mere gaze. When he played the bansuri, everyone would gather around, entranced by his delightful music. In those moments, they felt as if they were in heaven. Being just a child, he demonstrated to us how to fight, how to love, how to protect, and how to be humane, even though he was not one. After years of constant failures, Rishi Narad arrived by Krishna's order and informed Kansa about Krishna's whereabouts. Finally, when his search came to an end, he swiftly sent his men with an invitation for Krishna to come and fight in Mathura. To fulfill the purpose of his existence, Krishna bid farewell to his friends, his loved ones, his family, and his mother, and he journeyed to Mathura. As both brothers entered the fighting ring, they defeated Kansa's bravest fighters one by one. No one proved a match for them. Seeing his champions vanquished, Kansa engaged Krishna in combat. The outcome of this battle had been decided by fate long before Krishna was even born. Kansa utilized all his divine powers in an attempt to defeat Krishna. He gathered all he could and launched his attacks, yet they didn't even scratch Krishna. Krishna administered punishment to Kansa for all his actions, for killing his 6 brothers, for imprisoning his innocent parents, for every tear shed by Devaki, and for all he had done to his people. And so, the young Krishna, not yet 10 years old, defeated Kansa and restored balance to the city of Mathura. With balance re-established, Ugrasen was reinstated as king. That concludes the story. See you in the next one. Peace out.